My name is Jeremy Lee from Kowalski's Markets. I'm the produce director for the company. I love Honeycrisp apples, love grapes, avocados. I'm such an avocado fan, and I am tomato picky. I love tomatoes, but it better be good. My job is to oversee all the produce departments for the company and basically in charge of a lot of the buying and a lot of those decisions. We use a lot of local distributors. Jerry Untide is a very good partner with us. We've been partnering with him for over 10 years. And he grows everything local for us from tomatoes, corn, green beans, watermelon and cantaloupes and apples, squashes, pumpkins. You know, he does a lot of stuff for us that we're really proud to carry.
My name is Jerry Untide. I'm a vegetable and small fruit producer out of Waverly, Minnesota. With this changing climate, hail has become a big issue. And this year, the hail event that we were exposed to basically was so massive that it totally destroyed production in our orchard and in some of our fall vegetable crops.
Our climate's changing, you know, it's torrential downpours every summer instead of our nice gentle rains that we used to get. So I mean, you do see it, and you see it in my business because you know, we're buying from every part of the nation.
We as producers all face issues, and this climate change is not unique to Minnesota. In our small farming operation, we're producing these crops in this area underneath these tunnels, we call them, which can provide protection from a little bit of cold, a lot of rain, certainly all hail, because I see this as the future of Minnesota specialty crop production. We're going to see large changes, and we're going to see changes in price. There's no question about it. I think food as a percentage of cost in our household budgets will definitely continue to rise.
I mean, we've gotten used to having, salads on the shelves every day, berries on the shelves every day. It might get to a point where, we can't have blueberries for 2 weeks at a time, or, asparagus for a month at a time. It might get to that because if these areas get totally wiped out, it might be one of those things where we can't get it to the customer, and that's a lose for everybody.
I'm trying to be a good witness, and I'm trying to be a good steward, and I'm trying to help those people that don't have an understanding. And I'll be honest with you, there's a lot of open ears out there right now.
So climate change affects us in many ways. It affects us directly, such as the heat that we experience when we're working outside on a hot summer day. But it also affects us in other ways that we can't easily tell, such as maybe paying higher prices for food because somewhere in the world it's more expensive to grow that food because it's drier.
Consumers react really negatively when the price of things go up or when things that they're accustomed to having become unavailable. And so for all of us, we need to be educated that this is something that's going to happen more and more.
We may in the future have extended periods where certain products simply aren't going to be available for weather-related reasons. So it may be necessary for us to rethink how we eat altogether because it may become much more difficult to rely on the kind of farming practices that we rely on now and growing foods in the areas where we expect to be able to grow them.
I feel in some ways that our traditional picture of agriculture is being hit the hardest. They don't have, if you have one crop on thousands of acres, that crop is going to react to that same event. Where if you can really diversify, you have a little better chance of making it. So maybe it's those that kind of focus on a silver bullet. I think they're taking the hit a little harder, and I think we have to learn from that.
We know that when we heat the atmosphere, it's more humid. The atmosphere is holding more moisture, and that tends to come down in heavier rain. But also when you get hotter, things dry out quicker. So the question is, which wins? Does more moisture win or does more drought win? Well, it turns out the general rule of thumb is if you're in a wet area now, it's going to become wetter. If you're in a dry area now, it'll become drier. But wherever you are, the rain is going to come in heavier downbursts.
For our region, we're actually seeing an increase in precipitation events. There's been about 37% change for the Great Lakes region alone since between 1958 and 2001. So we know that it's not just the amount of water that's falling, but it is the intensity and the frequency by which we're seeing these types of storms happen across our region and across the globe.
It's going to be harder getting those record yields out of an acre of corn or an acre of beans. I tell people, and I think it's true, that climate change only hits home when it hits home. Minnesota has seen 4 separate 1,000-year floods since 2004. The Twin Cities is now in climate zone 5. Stuff is growing here that didn't grow here for your parents.
And that's, I think, one of the most critical pieces is so much of climate change has been really a very technical kind of discourse. We need to bring that so that people can understand it. And that's very important for policymakers to understand and for the research community to begin to do.